Hello and welcome back to 100 Yards of Football, Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about Ohio State versus Michigan in the most anticipated game of the college football season, it's our host, Mr. Vincent Turner. How's it going, man?
Hey man, how you doing today? I hope everything's going well. Looking forward to the Thanksgiving week. And you know when it's all about Thanksgiving, it's about good eating, pies, cakes, turkey, ham, potato salad, collard greens, sweet
Yeah.
potatoes. The South has arrived. But man,
Yeah.
I'm blessed.
Absolutely. And for everyone watching our video or listening to the podcast, we just want to say thank you. Thank you for tuning in with us day in and day out through the season so that we can enjoy these amazing moments with you and so that we can enjoy this great football. Well, Mr. Vincent Turner, tell us Ohio State versus Michigan. What are the keys to this game for Ohio State and for Michigan? And who's going to come out on top?
The thing about this football game has a lot of history, my man. It goes all the way back to the 50s and 60s, but the rivalry didn't start till 1969. And I remember watching that game at my grandmother's house down in my hometown of Memphis, Tennessee, the 901, and Mrs. Leela Turner and Sam Turner's house. And I remember on that Saturday morning, I had just got through watching that cartoon. Remember that cartoon, Johnny Quest? And my favorite character was Bandit. But then ABC Sports came on, Ohio State and Michigan. And what's so phenomenal about that 1969 game that I'm going to lead up to the game that's going to happen on Saturday is that Michigan had a first-year head coach by the name of Bo Schembechler. He was the top assistant to Woody Hayes, who was the top college football coach in America at that time at Ohio State. And that Ohio State team that came into Michigan in 1969 was considered at the time maybe the best college football team of all time because they were on a 22-game winning streak. They had previously won the national championship the previous season, beat O.J. Simpson and the USC Trojans in the Rose Bowl. And that team had Jack Tatum, Rex Kern, Jim Otis, Leon Hayden. And they went up to Michigan, and all they had to do was win that football game. But however, the Wolverines sprung one of the greatest upsets in college football, led by Don Moorhead. Don Didoff, that played offensive tackle for Michigan and went on with a great career with the St. Louis Cardinals. And Barry Peterson, who had 3 interceptions that game, and he picked off the outstanding quarterback from Ohio State, Rex Kern, 4 times. Now, let's rewind. I'm 62 years old. College football now has a college playoff right now. And last weekend, if people don't know and say, here, 100 yards football, that beautiful young man in front of you, he's from the great state of Tennessee, like I am. He's from the eastern part, Knoxville. And me and him, I'm going to be honest with you. Right now, we hurting. We hurting bad. Because what I saw on Saturday night, I could not believe my eyes. I just knew if Tennessee took care of their business, they would be in the college football playoffs. But that's over there. Now you got Ohio State and Michigan. Now all eyes are switched on them. Let me talk about the Michigan Wolverines. It's very simple with their football team. Jim Harbaugh came in his first few years and he tried to run an offense that was kind of like a speed option type offense. Well, you know what he did? Last year, he got back to Michigan football. That's all I know. Running the football between the tackles, having a quarterback that doesn't make a lot of bad decisions, able to make a couple of passing plays in the passing game, and having a running back that runs between the tackles real hard. Tyrone Whitley, Butch Woolfolk, Anthony Thomas. And then the offensive line is going to be big and physical. That's going to punish you. Dan Didoff, Jimbo Elliott, Jake Long. Well, on Saturday, that's what is going to happen on Saturday. Michigan is going to come into Columbus, Ohio. They're not going to do anything fancy. They're going to be able to run the football. That's going to be their very key. They got an outstanding quarterback in J.J. McCartney, a sophomore now, 1,952 yards. But what I like about him, listen to this key statistic, Jeremiah, 14 touchdowns, 2 interceptions through 11 games. So that means he doesn't turn the ball over. If there's any concern on the Michigan side of the fence, Blake Kern got hurt at the end of that Illinois game last week. He's got to be healthy. The young man on the year, 1,457 yards, 132 yards a game. If he's able to run the football, Michigan is going to be all right in this football game. And then the Wolverines are going to play good defense. Mike Morris, one of the best defensive linemen in the country, 7.5 sacks. But another key for Michigan, DJ Turner, their outstanding cornerback, 6'1", 180. His matchup against Marvin Harrison is going to be very critical for the Wolverines. The Wolverines are not going to do anything fancy. They're going to come into Columbus, and the bottom line, they're going to be able to run the football. The only question to me is Blake Kern, how healthy he's going to be. Now, to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Back to 1969 when the Buckeyes had Rex Kern, they had Jim Otis, they had Leon Hayden. There was a running team. But rewind now, and you're looking at the Buckeyes, they're throwing the ball all over the place. Right now, when you're talking about Heisman Trophy game, it's your time, California, yay! Hollywood, the young man C.J. Stroud, it's your game to take on the Heisman, baby. This year, this young man's got a quiet 2,900 yards, 35 touchdowns, 4 INTs. And a lot of people, when you look at the Heisman race, and we've been talking about the Heisman Trophy, a lot of words have really been coming out of the South. You've been hearing about Bryce Young. You even heard Stetson Bennett at Georgia. You even heard Hendon Hooker at Tennessee. Don't really the people you've been hearing about want to get Heisman votes. But C.J. Stroud has just been going along his business. Didn't have a really outstanding game against Notre Dame in the season opener. But you know what? He's played very stable football. And another surprise with the Buckeyes this year has been Marvin Harrison. Junior, 65 receptions, 1,037 yards, 11 touchdowns. This guy, when you look at him, he wasn't the number one receiver. Jackson Smith-Ian was, but he's been hurt all season long. And the next man up at Ohio State, can I say Joey Galloway? Can I say Terry Glenn? Can I say David Boston? Can I say Chris Carter? Well, Marvin Harrison is the next man up. And you know what about Marvin Harrison? He's just like his daddy. Hall of Famer Marvin Harrison Jr. You know he's got to be proud. And then you're looking at the Buckeyes offense, man. Even though Trayvon Henderson has been hurt, Myron Williams, who came on, led the Buckeyes with 783 yards. Mr. Henderson has over 500 yards. And then Dalen Hayden has over 500 yards. This is a very, very explosive football team offensively with the Buckeyes. We know what they're going to do on Saturday. When they get the ball, they're going to play fast tempo, and they're going to let that man from California throw it all over the place. But the biggest key, why I think the Buckeyes are a national championship contender, it's their defense. Mr. Jim knows, coming over from Oklahoma State, the Buckeyes are only giving up 16 points a game. Now, when you're talking about the Buckeyes in the conversation of being a national championship contender, you got balance. Offense is averaging 46 points a game. Your defense now is came to a grip, giving up 16 points a game. Tommy Ekberg is one of the top linebackers in the country. But my biggest surprise for them defensively has been Steel Chambers. What's so amazing, what's so ironic with Steel Chambers that everybody looking at this video asking Mr. Football Vincent Turner and them nice, handsome gentleman Jeremiah Long. Well, Steel Chambers is from the Metro Atlanta area where we broadcast. He went to Ohio State as a highly recruited running back. Can I give Blessed Trinity, they flowers, private school out there in Cobb County? He's been one of the best football players that people have not talked about. Outstanding football game. The game of the day on Saturday. What I recommend, get all your turkey, get all your ham, get it all out of your system. Get you a nice drink, whether it's some cognac or Coke, some vodka, or whatever your alcohol beverage. This is going to be old school football. One team, Ohio State, is going to want to throw the football. One team, Michigan, is going to want to run the football. Two great coaches, Jim Harbaugh and Ryan Day, who don't like each other. Heisman Trophy at the record now. Blake Kern, if he's healthy, has an outstanding game, can put his name up there in New York. C.J. Stroud, to me, If he has a game that's at a high level, something like 350 yards, go on and cash the trophy to him. My prediction, I think the Buckeyes want revenge last year. The Buckeyes 35, the Wolverines 21. That's what I'm saying here on 100 yards football. So my final word today, when you look at the Buckeyes from Ohio State, Woody Hayes is looking down, and he only remembers this. Dun 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 dun. Oh, hi, yo.
Yes, sir. We are so excited. Can you believe that this game is finally upon us? And so, everybody watching live or watching our video on the replay, we want to hear from you. What do you think the final score will be between Ohio State and Michigan? So, put that into the comments over on YouTube or over on Facebook. And if you are listening to our podcast, first off, thank you. But if you're not, come and join us. I listen to our podcast over on Spotify, but a lot of our guests listen to us over on Apple Podcasts, on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon, or if you have an Android device, you can listen to us on Google Podcasts. So you can listen anywhere that you love 100 Yards of Football. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Vincent Turner, for that incredible preview of Ohio State versus Michigan. I am your producer, Jeremiah Long, and we'll be back with another live episode. Stay tuned.